I don't want to be involved in it, and I don't want to be like the reason for any of it. I like to be drama adjacent though, and yeah, I'm nosy as fuck. So if you want it, I'm a therapist, and I tell everyone, I'm like, if you have anything to tell me that I'm not allowed to tell people, this is a vault, man. That's my job, is to vault it up. I'm not going to go like even to my best friend, like, guess what so and so told me.
Right.
That's why I always tell people if I could do it over, I think I'd be a therapist, but then I don't think I could because there's no way I'd be able to keep some of the stuff upstairs.
Yeah. Well, the great.
Why'd you get fired? Oh, I told everyone about my clients, you know.
Welcome to the No Dick Pics podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Max.
Why the delay?
I'm not feeling very oozy today.
Can you explain that again?
The two wrestling fans will get it, so I'm not gonna.
Everyone else is just out of luck. Okay. This is episode 46. This is the sex episode. So, yeah. Bridget will be joining us soon, and we're going to talk all things sex. So, we have been promising this episode for a while now, and we're finally doing it.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. All the little things are something in me now. Let's get... What?
That's not how that goes. Wow.
It's not salt and pepper, it's salt and pepper.
Yes.
Like Peppa Pig.
Not like Peppa Pig. Did you say all the little things inside me? That's not how the song goes.
I know, but wow. I always fuck up the lyrics, so...
That's a good one. Do you have any...
For the Rage Against the Machine was Testify. For the longest time, I thought it was Justify. So I'm singing it like, Justify! Justify! And I'm like, why is it called Testify? I kill all lyrics.
I know, it's cute. It's charming.
No, you just make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. I really think you're cute.
You make fun of me when I like mispronounce words or...
That's just how you pronounce it. It's not that you mispronounce it. That's how you pronounce it. Like, what's the word we were talking about yesterday?
Subwoofer.
It's so cute.
I don't care.
Subwoofer.
Subwoofer.
It's different. Subwoofer.
No, woofer.
Mm-hmm. Woofer.
Woofer, like woof,
woofer.
Like a dog.
Woof. Instead of woof?
It's a subwoofer.
I love it. Don't ever change it. I'm not making fun of you. I really like it. It's so cute. So, it was just the 4th of July. We missed 2 weeks. Sorry. It's been rough. Why is it harder to record in the summer when we have more time?
We don't want to. You get home from work and...
I want to. You're always...
Oh, yeah.
You're the difficult one. So, yeah, it's just been hard to get it done. And we got a new bed. So, we put that together last night instead of recording, which is fine. Because I just had a filler episode. So, better to have content, right?
It was a lot of work.
It was. But it's so good.
Mm.
Can we talk about the headboard thing?
What about it?
When was the last time you had a headboard?
Probably my first apartment.
So it's been at least 20 years?
Yeah, early 2000s.
It's 2025, so yeah, 25
But
years.
I don't need it. If the bed's against the wall, I'm good.
It's just like a grown-up thing to have.
I don't think... It doesn't say grown-up as a headboard.
It is. Mm-hmm. That's weird. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's weird. We're going to take a poll. Is it weird that Max didn't have a headboard? How many people listening have a headboard? I bet it's a high percentage.
But yeah, they might have headboards, but they don't think like, oh, that's weird. Like, oh my God, what? I just talked to someone and he doesn't have a headboard. No one cares.
Yeah, they do. I'm glad it was on a frame and not on the floor. But no headboard. It's kind of like, oh, okay.
No, when I bought the beds, like we could have gotten a headboard and I didn't. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, no, I'm good.
That's weird.
Now, if
It's
guys,
fine.
if they're like married, then obviously the woman's probably gonna want one. But if like there's any single guys out there, I would love to hear if they have a headboard or not.
I would love to hear that too. We're going to take a poll in the single parents group. I'm going to find out. Because I feel like more
Just
do
like your
than you
picnic
think.
table thing.
That backfired so bad. Ooh, I got another box.
Oh my god, you're out of control.
Yeah, UPS is here.
Where did all my money go?
It's fine. He's looking over here.
Package has been detected in your front door package zone.
It's the package zone. It's the divider thing for the backyard to cover the ugly utility boxes. Because when we're sitting at the fire pit, all we're doing is staring at the utility boxes. And it does not bring me joy. So I got a thing to put in front of it so we don't have to look at it.
I realize if it doesn't bring you joy, you buy it.
Mm-hmm. And then it brings me joy. Our new bed, the fact that the rooms coming together brings me joy. My welcome mat, my layered welcome mat with the picnic blanket, whatever, brings me joy.
I should have
I don't
said,
care.
hey, boo-boo, let's go for a picnic.
I don't care if other people don't like it. I like it.
It's not that I don't like it. I
People
just
don't like it. They think the sizing's wrong. It's not. It's exactly what I wanted.
It's just
like
weird
it.
to me. I think I don't know. I mean, it's a front porch, so I really care less, you know.
It's adorable, and it makes me happy.
What if that fox takes it and just runs away with it?
That would be impressive. If the fox can pull it away, then the fox earned it.
Gotta find those coyotes. Be like, take it. Well, it's your birthday on Sunday and my birthday on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I remember it this year. I think I will. We're not going wine tasting with my friends, so there's a good chance I'll remember my birthday this year.
We could go somewhere to give you mimosas.
I love mimosas. I love, like, endless mimosas. What are those called? Endless mimosas. There's a name for it.
Free refills? I don't know.
No, it's like,
Never ending?
something like that.
Bottomless?
Bottomless mimosa. There you go. Thank you. I love a bottomless mimosa.
You love a bottomless pretty much anything.
I love a bottomless Max. That's all good. We'd like to welcome Bridget to the No Dick Pics podcast. Hi, Bridget.
Hello.
Welcome.
I'm so happy to be here.
Bridget is a licensed marriage and family counselor, correct?
Yes.
And so sex is a large part of that. And I had reached out to you asking you if you knew any sex therapists or anything, because we wanted to have this podcast all about relationships and sex and communication. And you said that you actually have a lot of experience in that. So I'm like, oh, even better.
It's hard to work with couples, both married and not, or individuals who are in romantic relationships who come to me and talk about that stuff without sex being a part of it. That's a major part of any romantic relationship.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Oh, sure. Well, I am, like you said, a licensed marriage and family therapist. I graduated from Family Institute at Northwestern University in 2010. And so I opened my private practice like a year later, but I also worked in treatment centers, with people with like borderline personality disorder, mood disorders, anxiety, things like that. Things like anxiety, depression, stuff like that, eating disorders, a lot of trauma. And all of that obviously is interwoven. Addiction was another big one. So I've worked in like residential treatment, which is where you live there for a minimum of 30 days. And then I worked in all of the levels of care below that, which are like day treatment programs. And now I just do my private practice, outpatient therapy, both telehealth and in office. But I was born and raised in Chicago. So this is like, I stayed local just out in the burbs now.
So you weren't in the city itself, or?
Yes, I grew up
Nice.
mostly on the north side of the city, so like just east of
Okay.
Andersonville.
Okay.
But then we moved to Deerfield when I was in
girlfriend was in Lakeview.
Yes, yeah, just north of there.
Mhm. Very cool. Well, welcome and thank you for joining us. We've been trying to make this work for a while now,
No.
and we finally got to happen. So I'm excited.
This is what happens when you bring like 3 parents together with their work schedules and parenting schedules.
Yeah, but we got it.
Here we are.
We're doing it. We're finally here. So we're very excited to have you. So we're gonna dive right in.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk. This episode's all about sex, but not in like a raunchy way. We're not here to talk about like, I don't know, crazy stuff. We're talking about.
We're not getting into the Kama Sutra.
No. Max is like, well, I'm out. But it's more about sex in relationships or in dating in general, and how important it is to communicate about it, because I think so many people have like a wall up about it, or they're taught you're not supposed to talk about it.
It's taboo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a stigma for sure for a lot of people.
I think that plays a really big role in some relationships on like people not being happy or things going wrong because they weren't able to communicate what they needed or how they felt, because they felt like they're not supposed to talk about it or they're embarrassed to talk about it. So can we talk a little bit about why it's so important to talk about sex?
Well, I mean, it's as important to talk about sex in your romantic relationship as it is to talk about anything else, finances or, what your future hopes and dreams are. I tell clients all the time, I'm like, do we want to spend 5 minutes talking about our hopes and dreams, like just to try to lighten the mood so that it feels like less intense in there. But it is, yeah, I mean, sex is such a big part of, I shouldn't say all relationships. It's not a big part of all relationships. It is a big part of many, though. And it's a big part of anybody who has a healthy sexual appetite. Not being able to talk about it or having a partner that's unable to discuss it and communicate about their needs and their wants and desires is really difficult.
It is.
So I see a lot of people, I think especially, maybe Gen X and a little bit like the elder millennials, like I work with a lot of that group. Certainly older than that has really struggles even in session with me to like get there with this stuff. So I have to like baby step them, and sometimes we never get to the sex stuff. But there is this stigma that has sort of existed, like societally we've been taught like, oh, you keep that behind closed doors. And
that's private.
Right, that's private, and we don't talk about that. And my mom actually just said this was so funny because it never really dawned on me. I never really had like a birds and bees conversation when I was a kid. And she said like a couple weeks ago, she's like, thank God for your, childhood friend so-and-so, because her mom had the talk and then she told you the talk. And I was like, oh my God, that is true. Because I've never thought about like how I knew some of the stuff that I knew. But I did also, I mean, like late nights as an early teen, like randomly HBO stuff would come on and you're like, whoa, you sort of
real sex.
Your education.
Red Shoe Diaries, David Duchovny, I think it was narrated that I remember clearly being like, what is this? Like when I was like 13 or 14. And then talking to my friends about it, being like, oh, it's on when there's a sleepover. What do you think? Like, it's just, sometimes you learn like organically that way. It just sort of presents itself. And other times it's like, yeah, you got to sit down and talk about this. But I don't know, my mom never had that talk with me. And I don't know if she was like, just didn't want to, or if it was scary for her. I have no idea.
I'm sure it was.
I think it's especially like as we move through the generations and like we're in 2025 now, things are very different now than they were, in the 80s and 90s and when our parents were younger. I don't work with a lot of like younger, like 20 something. So I'd actually be interested to hear how normalized it's become to discuss it. I think there's a lot more discussion going on in the younger generations, which is really great.
Yeah.
And I used to do a comprehensive sex education for high school students, like around the suburbs of Chicago and a couple schools in Chicago. And the stuff that, I mean, we were in there for two full health periods, like back to back, like with models of, of the vulva, the vagina, the penis, like showing them all of this stuff. And they're just like, and you think like a 17-year-old might know, like a 17-year-old girl might know the parts of their own anatomy.
No,
and they don't.
There's
and that's why
it's in their 30s who don't know.
And that is something that has blown my mind. Like so I knew that was part of my job. And I mean, some of it was new to me when I like took that job and started being trained in that. And we did other preventative stuff too, in terms of like mental health and outreach around like drugs and alcohol prevention, things like that. But this was a big one that a lot of the schools were like, yes, please come in because we don't want to have to facilitate this. Like, it's easier to have an outside person than to have your health/gym teacher doing it. And then it's like, ooh, like have that talk with them. But I mean, I think that was great for those kids to hear all of that. But I've heard like even now I meet people who are like, I'm sorry, and what's that called? And I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I have a story about this.
Yeah.
So there was a girl I knew years and years ago, won't use names or anything. She would change her tampon every time she peed.
Oh.
And she's like, oh, I have to use the bathroom. I don't have another tampon. And I'm like, what? I mean, why? And she was like, well, because I have to pee. And I'm like, you don't need to change your tampon every time you pee. And she's like, yeah, you do. It's the same hole. I'm like, oh, honey, it's not the same hole. And she was in her 30s. And I'm like, oh, wow. How did you not know this? But I guess if no one teaches you.
Well, and I think that's true. Like, as many women as probably think that, there's even more men that have believed that their entire lives. And then they're like, wait a minute, what? I mean,
well, that's the thing too. I don't know, but like, so you were talking about the birds and the bees, and I was trying to think back, and I think I learned, is this because you're friends, and then like things you would watch and stuff. Like, I don't think my parents ever. I think when I got older, my mom was just like, I remember she gave me like a pack of condoms and be like, just be safe. But my family was very open. Like, my mom was like,
education on how to use them effectively.
Yes, she's like, I don't want any grain, so. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's what you did. You'd learn through your friends. Like, it was funny because it's like, how did you learn about the birds and the bees? And the joke in our like inner circle was like Ken's Video in Palatine. It was open 24/7. They were the video store known to have all the adult movies, and you can just walk in there anytime and boom, But that's how it was. The video stores, you had access to it.
To kids?
Huh? I think you had to be, 16 or older, but we all had fake IDs 16? Anyway.
Fake IDs?
I looked like I was 12.
Back then,
I was like 6 when I was 18. I looked like I was 12, so it never worked. But other people, we actually got the fake IDs from the Here's Hollywood video store that's now across the street from me. That was there, yeah. It was everyone was from Iowa. It was the Iowa one.
Outing all these stores now.
That's so.
But I think like kids, I think there's more like it's easier to get a hold of the stuff, social media now. But I still don't know if like the discussions out there, because
that's a great segue. So do you feel like people's perception of sex, especially when you're learning about it from porn, is skewed because they're not learning about it in like a realistic way? They're learning about it from very unrealistic situations.
That's the word. There it is. There's nothing real about like pornography. Mm-hmm. About like mainstream pornography. That's all fantasy, which is great. I mean, it serves a purpose for anybody who wants to who finds value in that, as long as it's not of an addictive nature. Like, that's fine. Use that, absolutely. Also, that's not real life,
right?
But that's what people think. I remember one of the when I started dating, and I kept hearing like people like addicted to porn. I just thought that was like, oh, whatever. Yeah. And I actually met, and she's like, yeah, and I was like, I didn't realize that was a real thing. And I heard someone talking about is like if you use pornography for what it's used, just to make you happy or do the stuff,
As an
that's
aid.
fine. But when
Yeah.
you start thinking like this is reality, and this is where a lot of the guys then think like, oh, and that's the thing, and like anyone, it gets in your head, and then it just it messes with you, and so
Oh, sure.
Right. It's an aid, not a guide.
Yes, that's perfect. It's an aid, not a guide. It is any expectation that your sex life with your partner is going to be like a pornography is completely unrealistic. That expectation is out of control, because that's not, first of all, those people, when they're having actual sex, are not having sex like that.
Right.
So, and sex comes in so many different forms. I mean, with kinks and stuff, there's like, we could go into a million different segues here, but like the basis of what you just said is so great that like, no, those are unrealistic expectations. That is not really how that plays out. Nor like, I mean, if you really think about it, would you want, even if that seems hot for you like when you're taking that in and watching that, whether it's with your partner or alone, is that how you want to be having sex with your partner?
Right.
I mean,
like in reality.
In reality, right. Or do you want to create sort of, I think this is where the communication piece comes in, is if you're not communicating, you are sort of unable to create this really beautiful, your own little like fantasy land of what your sex life will look like with your partner or partners. Some people have more than one, which is fine. But being able to communicate about that and say like, yeah, porn serves a purpose, and we can take certain things from that and be like, actually, that looks kind of hot. Should we try it? That's great. That's a great use of that as a couple, because now you're introducing new things, you're trying new things. We're making our sex life fun, and which is really what it should be. It should be fun. And for so many, it's just not, especially for a lot of women who have maybe never had an orgasm, who don't know, or who only have orgasms when it's themselves by themselves with a vibrator or some other toy, which like there's a lot of reasons that may be, but for a physically healthy person, they should be capable of having orgasms with their partner. If there's other issues going on, that's a different story, but
right.
So that communication around like what you like and what you want and what you need, and exploring that for yourself too. The older we get, the easier it is to sort of like imagine, I think, what might feel good, or what we might like, or what we want to try, or like, and you might try stuff and think like, oh God, that was terrible. But now you have like something fun to laugh about with your partner.
Right.
Let's not do that again. And let's try something.
It reminds me of Friends. Were you a Friends fan?
Yeah.
I'm a big Friends fan. When Ross and Rachel accidentally record themselves and they start watching it, and they're like, oh, we look good. And they go, oh no.
Yes. Now I remember. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. It's like, no, never mind.
Yeah, let's cut the video there.
But I also think social media warps sexually, because, I mean, I mentioned this like when we first started doing this podcast, that like in dating, social media would warp your mind, like, oh, and I think also like sexually with it and how people are and stuff, because so many people are open and stuff, especially like TikTok and stuff. And so I think there's like so much that you just kind of have to ignore. And that's where
there's a lot of comparison going on.
Yeah. And that's where the communication has to be with you and your partner.
There's a lot of comparison. There's a need for I tell clients that I work with, whether it's about like physical intimacy or it's about anything else in your relationship, if we're struggling with communication, let's err on the side of over communicating. Let's over explain. Let's over question, like, hey, here's what I'm hearing. Is this what you meant? What was your intention with this? But like from a place of curiosity, not like accusation and not criticism. And it's really easy, even if I'm saying to my partner, like, hey, I don't really understand why you did it this way, da 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 da. It's super easy for that person to take that as criticism and get defensive. If we're practicing healthy communication, the goal is that we both know when a question is asked, or like we're sort of wondering something about the way something was done or why we were feeling that way, it's not we should know that that person isn't coming from a place of criticism. They're coming from a place of curiosity and love, and they want to, the goal is to understand each other better versus somebody being right and somebody being wrong, and like, this is why my feelings are valid. And like, we get really stuck in, I mean, just this is like, this works with sex and everything else in relationships, but we get really stuck in like the new lingo that everybody has picked up, this therapeutic lingo, which is great. I mean, 10 years ago, it was, I'm triggered, I'm triggered, I'm triggered. 100%. We're triggered a million times a day.
Oh, yeah.
We can tone it down on the word. Same with the word narcissism. I mean, maybe it's time. I think I actually just posted about this the other day. Somebody said something about narcissists on Facebook, and I said, like, maybe we can all look up what the true definition of narcissistic personality disorder is, because what you're describing, that's not what that is.
Right.
And so the same thing, like for any of this, is like, we can come at it from a place of defensiveness and like assumption that my partner is telling me I've done something wrong. Or we can work on practicing that communication and practicing being in sync with each other and knowing that my partner loves me. My partner doesn't want me to be hurt and doesn't want me to be defensive. If I'm starting to feel defensive, I can make that speakable and say like, ooh, what you just said rubbed me the wrong way. I feel like that wasn't your intention though. Can you explain that to me better? And now we're both sort of part of this process of like understanding the other person, deepening that for the next time this happens. Now we know, well, we've already had a few instances of X, Y, and Z. So I know we've talked this out. And so I can start to like let my guard down a little bit. I don't need to jump to like, oh, why would he say that? I can say like, ooh, this is maybe activating that part of me, but I'm going to like put that down. And I can make that part of our communication. So if like my partner, like getting back on the sex track, if your partner's like, hey, I really would like it if you initiated more. That's not a criticism of the other person. That's them really expressing a desire to feel wanted by their partner.
Right.
Which is actually a really, if we take away that like critical feeling, it's such a wonderful thing to think, wow, my partner trusts me enough to say, I want to feel wanted by you. Like, tell me more, or come on to me more, or hug me more. That's actually a really nice and lovely thing.
And that kind of like leads into what I was going to ask. And it seems simple, like, how do you talk about sex with your partner? But I think a lot of people are scared to, especially if they haven't been, if they've been in a relationship for a long time and they haven't been discussing it. How would you start? How would you bring it up? Or what do you think is a good way for someone who wants to talk to their partner about sex, but is afraid to, or doesn't know how to start the conversation? And especially in like, in a way where they don't feel like they're being criticized. It's let's have a conversation.
I think that this is a little bit different for everybody because there's subtle nuances within each of us and within each then relationship, each pairing of people. So I always say, like, let's err on the side of honesty, and then that over explanation again, like, hey, I would really love it if we could talk about our sex life. Like, there's some things that I've been hoping that we could like chat about or try, or whatever it is. Or I've been craving it more. Can we talk about that? Or can you help me with like understand this better about how like the cadence of our libidos work together and how we like get more in sync? I think you just have to say it out loud. If it is super scary to say that directly to the person, which I mean, some people's anxiety goes right through the roof, and they're like, I'm going to be back. That fear of rejection, even from somebody that they know loves them, is just so real and so prohibitive to actually having effective communication, especially around something as vulnerable as physical intimacy.
Yes.
So exactly. An email or a text message might be more appropriate in that instance. Or if you're in therapy, individual therapy, if you're not in couples therapy, but you or your partner is in individual therapy, saying like, hey, can I join you for your session? There's some stuff I've been struggling to talk about. And I think that would be really helpful to have like a third party there, because I'm afraid that I'm going to chicken out and not really talk to you about it, even though I know you probably want to know it, or do you want to come with me to my therapy session so we can like open this up a little bit? And sometimes it just takes one or two. It doesn't mean you have to transition to couples therapy for the next like 2 years.
Right.
It's like, I just need a little bit of help. I'm really struggling with this.
That's a great idea.
I think with like also I think with some of it is criticism, and some people aren't good at taking criticism, and they might think criticism is more like, "Oh, she's blaming me," and it's not. It's just, and that's the thing that I've always said is like you have to like an open dialogue. You can't take offense. Like I mean, some things you will take offense. Like, oh, am I not doing this or that? But if you have that open, communication. But like I said, if someone's not good at taking criticism, and it might not be, it might not work.
Oh, for sure. I think that the other issue with that is too, a lot of us are sort of, because of either past relational trauma or because of our family of origin and how we were raised there. Even if we weren't raised in like a traumatic environment, but there were some things that were sort of off limits, or we had to walk on eggshells around a parent or both parents or certain members of the family, we are now sort of predisposed to like more of that eggshell walking, maybe like taking things that are said to us like as more criticism than it was actually meant. And I
Mhm.
mean, I I know we talk about like constructive criticism and like I wish, can we just stop being critical? Like we don't need to criticize our partner, our loved one, our children, our friend, the teacher, like
Mhm.
whoever. We can just say, "Hey, can you help me understand that? I disagreed with what you said or the way that came out. Can you help me understand why you believe that?" Now we're leading with curiosity and openness versus like finger pointing. And that works so well, in all aspects of life. But
That's
like,
such good advice.
I mean, definitely in the bedroom too. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't want to feel, nobody wants to feel like their partner doesn't like what they're doing, or you're not good enough, or
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
enough, or handsome enough, or whatever enough. And we are, to your point, Max, about like social media and stuff and porn, like this sets us up to feel less than over and over and over. That comparison is so difficult. And this affects more than our sex lives, this affects our entire life. And
Mhm.
so, really doing some work to like, whether that's in, I think everybody should be in therapy.
I
I love
agree.
therapy.
Right.
I have clients that hold space for themselves weekly that I've been working with for like 8 years. They do not
Mhm.
need to see me every week. They are fine, but they hold
Mhm.
that space just in case something comes up. And
Right.
they love knowing I have an hour every week where I can like bitch about my partner and then I feel a lot better.
Right.
Or I can bitch about
It's
my
good
mom and then I
maintenance.
feel a lot better. Like,
Yeah.
or there's maybe some low level just stress going on and it helps them work through it. I love
Yeah.
that work. I mean, I love all the work that I do, but that work, seeing clients that I've worked with for a really long time who have sort of moved beyond this need, like really need for therapy. They've
Mhm.
worked through a lot of their traumas and a lot of the issues that were coming up. Just knowing, like, hey, this is part of my routine. I hold space for myself every week with my therapy.
That's kind of where I'm at with my therapist. And people have asked me, because I've been through a lot of things the past few years, and people ask like, "How are you so positive about it?" I'm like, "Therapy."
Therapy.
The
And
reason
therapy, and there's
I'm
still
okay is
taboo with therapy
therapy.
because, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
there's a few friends I'm trying to get into therapy, and they're just, and
Mhm.
I'm fairly new to therapy, so it was kind of like like right when I got divorced, we had some couple counseling, but after the divorce, about a year or two later, then I reconnected, or I got a therapist, and that's why I just tell and I would tell my buddy is like, yeah, you might not find the first one, it might not work for you,
Oh,
just
yeah.
keep trying until you find one that works for you, and but it's like, yeah,
It's also
it was almost
incredibly
like
attractive for
if
men
I
being
said
there.
I was in therapy and then the woman said she was in therapy, that was almost like, all right, that's a plus for me.
Oh, yeah.
If
Mhm.
anyone would ever criticize therapy, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
No.
But yeah, I agree with you. Everyone needs therapy at some point. I even think companies should like almost offer it, like in how
Mhm.
just to be able to talk to someone.
Well,
Well,
so a lot of larger companies do offer it. It's through your EAP program, your Employee Assistance
mhm.
Program, and you get, it depends on the company, but you can get like six or so sets. Some of them are more, but six or so sessions free with your EAP. That doesn't even ping your insurance. That's just an extra added benefit that is rolled into your benefits.
Mhm.
And then, so I've had clients come to me to use an EAP, and so we do the 6 sessions, which is great for them, but they pay very little, and they're and they're like to us, and it's sort of a pain in the butt to bill them. It's like a totally different process, but that's neither here nor
Mhm.
there. But then they can now start to use their regular insurance benefits, and pay their copay or the deductible and continue therapy that way. But there are
Yeah.
companies, a lot of companies will do that, but some of the smaller ones. obviously don't have those EAP programs always in place. But I wish it was more mainstream. I think the younger generation is much more therapy savvy than anybody has been, which
totally. They're way more open to it too.
Way more.
They'll do couples therapy, or they'll do therapy before like they get married. They'll do a couples therapy. Like I had a friend, and they did that before they got married, which I was like, that's pretty smart.
Premarital counseling is so incredibly wonderful because even if there's nothing wrong, I've worked with several couples who are like either on their road to being engaged, or maybe they're just dating and they just want to make sure that they're doing okay. Or they're like, okay, we're getting married in 9 months. We'd like to iron out a couple issues. And I remember very vividly, a friend of mine said once, like, oh, they're in therapy before they've even gotten married? That's not good. I said, actually, on the contrary, that's wonderful. Because now they're tackling some of these larger issues that a lot of us neglected to discuss prior to getting married. I mean, number of kids, finances, like back to that hopes and dreams thing. Like, where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 20, 50 years? What do you want to do? Because a lot of people, they get together and they get married and they think like, this is going to be great. We get along so well. And now suddenly you find out like you have very different opinions on how the finances should be ironed out. And you have very different opinions on how many kids you want. Even though you think like, well, that's such a small thing. Why wouldn't you just discuss that ahead of time? People get so caught up in like, everything else that they sort of neglect to really say, hey, I've always envisioned just one kid or no kids, or I want 10, because they're like, everybody has their own idea of what they want. Not that we can't compromise or be perfectly happy, like meeting their partner in the middle.
Right.
But if somebody goes into a relationship saying, I want 4 kids, 100% absolutely, and the other partner says, oh, I really only want 1 and I'm not going to change my mind. I mean, 5 years from now, we're in trouble.
Right. Exactly. I kind of feel like this podcast is our therapy. Because it really, I like when we do it because it kind of forces us to talk.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably not the healthiest thing because we're like, let's have everyone listen to all of our thoughts and issues.
There's those shows now where they've got like full-on therapy sessions that people are like, what? Okay. I mean,
we have a lot of serious conversations on this show. So we have like, I don't know, this is kind of, it's always felt therapeutic for us. But I think the fact that we're both in therapy and we entered our relationship already existing in therapy is part of the reason we have such a healthy relationship, because we joke about it. We haven't had a fight, like a yelling, like argument. And I think it's just because we will discuss things. We've had conflict. It's not that we haven't had conflict. It's that when we have something, we'll just discuss it in like a respectful and calm way, because we've both been through so much therapy that we understand how to have a conversation without attacking.
Respectful and calm without
it's really weird. I
don't know how to possible.
I don't know how to process it either, because I'm like, why haven't we fought yet? I don't know that we're going to. I mean, maybe we will. I don't want to jinx us.
I think you hit the nail on the head though. We've had conflict. Conflict does not mean screaming at each other. Conflict does not mean hurt feelings after the fact all the time. Conflict just means we don't agree. Let's talk about this and figure it out.
Yeah. And that's how we've always been.
Right. And I think this is, you're absolutely right. Like both of you already being in therapy, coming together, doing this podcast, which is incredibly therapeutic. I don't think it's unhealthy at all just because other people listen to it. This is part of your process, and it's become part of just like, what'd you say?
We're like, share it with the world.
Yeah.
But that's a great thing to share with the world, to model for other people that, look, you can talk about this. There's nothing fake about, when I like have watched your videos and stuff and listened to you guys, there's nothing fake about what's like coming to the surface here. It's not like,
it's very real.
Right. It's not scripted. You're not like, oh yeah, well, don't say this or do say, like, you just say what comes to mind, and that's great.
Yeah, and I edit it out if I don't like it.
And what?
I edit it out if I don't like it.
Which is fine too. I think there's a realness here that like something like, just viewing stuff on like Instagram or TikTok or like watching a reality show, like, there's so much of that that's there's a lot of fakeness. I mean, there's a lot of real stuff on social media, but there's also, you never really know like what somebody's life is really like.
Yeah.
When you just sit and have a conversation though and listen to the two of you talking, you can hear that you're always meeting each other with curiosity. And yeah, that conflict that you experience, there's always going to be conflict. We can never, ever have a life without conflict. And conflict comes in many forms. But like in terms of a relationship, conflict is an opportunity for growth. Conflict is great. We need conflict.
We always just we usually learn something about each other through it. And it's like,
you learn something.
It's
you
something
deepen your understanding of each other.
Yeah. And it's never like, I don't know that we ever leave a conversation like upset or like, I don't know, like with hurt feelings. I don't know. I think I hurt your feelings sometimes when I laugh about how you pronounce things, but
I'm used to it, so it's happened my whole life.
So cute. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Yeah. So
that stuff is really good. Like if we don't give ourselves opportunity to have conflict with our partners, there's no opportunity for growth. There's no opportunity to deepen our understanding of the other person. Conflict's necessary.
I'm not crying, by the way. This eyeball leaks. So if you see me doing that, I'm not crying. It's just.
Well, she's emotional. Don't worry.
My eyeball leaks.
Listen. Do we need a therapy session?
This is deep.
Where are these tears coming from, Christina?
Right. Let's get into this. Let's unpack this.
These are important feelings you're having.
Okay, so let's see. Let me go on to another question. And this is, we kind of have talked about this a few times. What is your thought on like why women attach so much emotion to sex and men typically, not all men, a lot of men don't. And I feel like that's an issue that a lot of people have when they start dating is women associate so much emotion and so much feelings and intimacy, and men are just kind of like,
well, because men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and what?
I always would tell her, guys are very simple, and she doesn't like. Sometimes I feel like she doesn't believe it, but we are like, we're very simple men. Well, not all men. I am. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have a mattress and a TV and a kitchen, and I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference between being a complex being and living a simple lifestyle. So I hear all the time, well, men are so simple and women are confusing. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't use that condescending big voice for men.
I like it.
I don't think women are confusing. I mean, I think it's people are confusing. It's just.
Thank you, because we're all complex individuals with our own histories, our own backgrounds, and our own unique experiences. We are, in fact, all unique little snowflakes in that nobody has the same experience as us. Even children that grew up with the same parents in the same home. And I'm like, yes, there's some truth to like the stuff about birth order and everything. I'm not even speaking to that. I'm speaking to your birth order in terms of who your parents are makes it a different experience. So I am the oldest of three. My experience with my parents is going to be incredibly different from my younger brother and then from the youngest brother, because they evolved and grew and became more sure of themselves in terms of their parenting style. And they were less sure of themselves. I'm not sure which way we tipped them, but they changed as time went on. I was just telling a friend the other day, I said, like, you know what is so messed up? And I'm still like, even though I'm in my 40s now, I'm still going to like be slightly miffed by it, is that when I got out of college and moved back home for a couple of years, my brother was in high school and he had a 10 p.m. curfew on weeknights. And I'm like, excuse me? I wasn't even allowed to go out every weekend. Like, and by out, I mean like to my school's hockey game to hang out with my friends. Like, and that was just sort of how it worked. And, I think we see
was
that.
Was it a gender thing for your family, or was it a...
I think it's a lot of things. But this is why I say we're all unique little snowflakes, in that my experience growing up is different from literally everybody else's. Nobody else has my parents, my family, my siblings, my experience. And so my perspective of the world, my outlook, the lens through which I see other people, some of that is based on just my personality. And some of that is based on my experience. So this is it's not even nature versus nurture. We are all nature and nurture. combined. And so we have to sort of like, this is what therapy helps us do, is look at all of that. And why do I see things this way? Why is my perspective so different than somebody else's? And, I think being able to move forward in life and say, like, we're all super different and we're all going to see things a little bit differently, including like the way that we attach to physical intimacy and the way that we attach to certain people that activate different stuff in ourselves. But to like get back to your original question, this is just sort of like neuroscience. Women are, I'm going to be very careful with my words here. Women are not the more emotional sex. Women lead more often with emotion, though, and men lead more often with logic when we're talking about just like problem solving and such. Not that women can't be super logical, because obviously they can, and men can be very emotional as well. But it is sort of built into us a little bit that women attach through emotion and then have this desire for physical intimacy with their partner. Obviously, it's not like a blanket black and white thing. Everybody's different. And men typically, the physical intimacy is a little easier for them. They can do that a little more easily without emotion attached. But for a like sexually healthy man, if you're in a romantic relationship one-on-one with somebody, that physical intimacy piece is going to play a big part in feeling loved and cared for by that partner. That, I mean, this is true of women as well. But yes, I think your initial question is like, why do we sort of lead a little bit differently into that? I think we're a lot more alike than people really want to admit. We love to be, I say this all the time, humans love to be categorized. It's like a 17 magazine or YM magazine, like little quiz. We love to take a little quiz. This is also, I have a lot to say about the 5 love languages. This is
I was about to say that's yeah.
That is the same thing. They're not real. It is a lovely, just like a YM quiz, a lovely little thing that is fun. It puts you in a category.
I just made him take it recently.
It's a tool to use.
Yeah.
Absolutely, to understand your partner better. 100%. But please tell me how you have physical touch without, what was I going to say? Without, what is the one? The
quality time.
Quality time. Thank you. My God, my brain went blank. How do you have physical touch without quality time?
Right. They're one and the
You
same.
don't. These are not separate things. And some of them do far outweigh the others. So it has been proven that what matters most, actually, on average, across all people in a relationship, most people I talk to say, oh, physical touch, physical touch, physical touch. No. It's words of affirmation and quality time. Those are the two that on average matter the most. And that doesn't mean I need to take a quiz to know that. Right. But we love to take a little quiz because humans, while we love to be individual little snowflakes and look at me, I'm so like unique and da-da-da-da, we also love to be put in little boxes and categorized and be able to wear, our zodiac sign on a t-shirt. And that's fine. I think all of that is great. I think the 5 love languages are a quiz is a lovely tool to use to develop a deeper understanding of your partner, but it has its limits. And also the man who wrote that book and came up with it is a pastor. He is not like a psychologist. He's not a neuropsych. He's not a therapist.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I mean there's some limits there. I mean I could probably come up with a quiz to take too, and with the right marketing,
we should do it.
And I have people who will fight me on that.
Podcast.
What did you say?
Sponsored by the No Dick Pics podcast.
People will go toe to toe with me about the 5 love languages, and at the end of I'm not changing anybody's minds. If you really want to attach to that stuff, you can attach to it, and I support you in that decision. It is going to limit you a little bit moving forward, but that's your choice. And also, if you're going to go toe to toe with me and tell me how wrong I am, like maybe you should call Northwestern and let them know that my degree doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm like, okay. I mean, you're going to tell your like oncologist how wrong they are about chemo? I don't know. But
right.
Because people really attach to certain stuff like that.
Yeah.
This concrete thing, because there's certainty in that. in a
Mhm.
world and in a life that has so much uncertainty and like so many unexpected turns and twists. It's another one of those things that we feel like, oh, I have control over this. Oh, I'm physical touch.
I've not heard that perspective, and it's really like interesting to hear because I am one of those people who's like, let's take the quiz.
But it's fun, and that's
Yeah,
great.
it is.
If you're using it, I mean, even how cute you were just now. Like, let's take the quiz. Like,
But yeah, use it as a tool,
do
but
it.
Oh
don't be
yeah.
like,
I
well,
don't bank
he
on
didn't
it.
have affirmation second,
Right.
so I'm not gonna go
No.
out with him anymore.
No, that's silly. Yeah.
But people will use it literally, like,
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on attachment styles?
So much is rooted in our attachment styles. I mean, having a general understanding of attachment issues and how those shift throughout our life and how our childhood and family of origin and our early experiences sort of have created these pathways, these neural pathways that lead us to be certain types of attachment styles is really important. I mean, attachment is major. So I share this with my clients if it's appropriate. My father passed away very unexpectedly before I was even 2 years old.
Oh wow.
And
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, I mean, that's a lot. I don't remember him. And he obviously, I mean, I think I was 20, August, I was like 21 months old. And there's a lot in my life that has been sort of like changed, I think, internally and for my lens out to the world and the way that I attach to people because of that. And I didn't realize that for a long time. And then when I went to grad school, we had to do a lot of like self work. I was in therapy. If you're going to be a therapist, you really should be in therapy. And so I was all through grad school, and it was awesome. And I started to realize, like, yeah, he died a very long time ago. Oh my God, this is still so active for me. This is, and it's not, that how do you grieve the loss of somebody who you can't remember?
Mm-hmm.
But like little me knew him, little me felt safe with him, and then he was just gone. And so, and I share this with clients, like, and friends and stuff too, and I hope it's helpful for them. For me, something I struggle with in attachment to another person is that love can feel like something that goes away, and it might come back, but it might not. There's an abandonment there. And so I have historically attached to people who may abandon me in one way or another. Maybe not, they don't like peace out of my life, but there are small abandonments that take place that cause some internal chaos. And for me, that feels like very familiar.
That's so interesting that we do that like instinctively.
Yeah, I mean, this is when we talk about like, hurt people. That is not always like there's some truth to that. That's not always true, but there is a lot of truth. If you were hurt or abused as a child, there's a predisposition to doing that to others. Or if you watched maybe like infidelity in your parents, your pendulum now may swing like we're swinging like way from side to side. Some people are going to then struggle with infidelity for the rest of their life because that's sort of ingrained in them, and other people are going to steer so far clear of that because of how painful they saw that. And some of the response to that, the resiliency in that, I really do think is ingrained in just our personality type, and like, which is like just our neural pathways and some of the stuff that we're born with. We're born with a certain level of resiliency and ability to see that and say like, oh, I do not want that for myself or my family. And other people who may struggle with that are, maybe the same type of people who might struggle with something like an addiction, or some other type of addictive disorder.
It all ties together.
It really does. And and I've said this, like, because I used to work with substance abuse, eating disorders, trauma, mood disorders, like our propensity to lean into those things it's all very connected. And so there's a lot of arguments that like even an eating disorder is a form of addiction. And it's working with that population, you can see it clear as day.
Yeah.
It's just a different presentation.
Yeah. It's fascinating to see how like it's all connected and based on things that happened that you don't even realize happened to you. And things like that.
This is why attachment work, I think, is so important for anybody who sort of struggles. There's a lot of people out there who have like a really like secure attachment style, and that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of us that don't. And and having an understanding of sort of like which way we lean to begin with. But if you have somebody who's anxious attached, they're going to connect with an avoidant. If that avoidant, for whatever reason, if the anxious attached is like, you know what, this feels unhealthy, and I'm going to break this cycle. They start to do the work to break the cycle and like move away. They don't become avoidant per se; they're getting healthier. But the avoidant is absolutely going to swing it anxious now.
To more anxious,
whoa! Like, where are you going? Like, I'm the one that gets.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like when we broke up. Because what happened, I don't know if you knew this, we broke up like a year ago. Like June of last year. Max,
she knows the exact date, time,
there's
hour.
A whole episode. There's a whole episode about it. It's awful. It's our number one most listened to episode. I hate it.
Oh.
But we really got into it, and like we're very open about it. And what I think kind of happened was like, I was very anxious. I still am. Like, I was very anxiously attached, and he wasn't. You're not really super avoidant, but he was a lot more than I was. And
I think even secure attached to an anxious can feel like uncomfortable.
Right. And so we break up, and I start seeing what else is happening out there, and start considering other options. And he was kind of like, "Whoa, wait a minute." He's like, "Wait. So I think that kind of, not in a super anxious way, but I think it kind of happened with us, where he was like, "Well, you should come over and hang out." I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah. What did I say? No labels.
No labels.
That was good.
Avoidant.
That was good.
But
you stopped overthinking. You were just like, let's just have fun, and then you did,
and now I live here.
Well, and you know what? I think for a lot of people, a breakup, and then realizing like, wait a minute, like, I can, now that I'm sort of away from that person, I can see things a little bit differently, a little clearer than when you're like constantly together and talking and like inundated with those feelings, whether they're positive or negative or anywhere in between. And being able to take that space and say like, actually, there's a lot of value here. Let's take it slow. Let's try again, but let's take it slow. Like, let's not put a label on it, but let's not like be out doing whatever we want to do. And let's be honest with each other and clear in our intentions and see where this goes.
That's literally
it was the healthiest breakup I ever had.
It was.
It was like,
and we posted it for the world to listen to,
which was great. That's probably been the reason that's your most listened to podcast, is probably because of how helpful it is to so many people.
Oh yeah, it was very healthy. Like, we went into it, and like, I'm angry with him in many parts of it, but then it's more of a like, we come to like a crossroads where we're like, we're still gonna do the show, we're still gonna talk, we're still gonna be in each other's lives and try to do it in a healthy way. And obviously friendship did not last long. But like, after we were just kind of in a no labels, kind of just figuring out, hanging out kind of thing, which is what he needed, then it snowballed into what it is now, which worked out for me. So that's exactly what I wanted.
Which is great. I mean, you offered yourself a different perspective on what a relationship together could look like, and decided like, actually, we want the romance. Like, that draw was there, and that's really wonderful. I do like to tell people, if that ever happens and that draw is not there for the romance, and you just continue to engage in like sort of chaotic arguments, and like, please take some time away from that person. If you need to separate, you need to detach a little bit to get clarity there.
I think people don't realize it because they don't want to start dating again. But like, it's I'd rather
people
be alone.
settle. They settle, and then even when they're dating, they settle because they're like, oh, I don't want to go back into that dating pool, and so they just kind of like, this is better than nothing. because even like what we talked about, like the divorce,
Mhm.
like everything tied into like after you get divorced, when we talk about like how soon do you go out there, how quickly, but it depends, how like my divorce was very healthy,
Mhm.
but it was still a big thing. And my therapist said, like, it's still a big part of your life, even though it wasn't nasty and stuff. It's still a big part of your life. And it's still going to be, take a toll on you. But like as soon as we got separated, I just jumped out into the dating pool because I was just like, I just want to see what else is
Same.
out there. Hmm?
Same.
But it
You
was
all
just
you
like,
also jumped into the dating pool?
Oh, like
oh yeah,
very quickly.
I jumped in head first like that. Like
Yeah.
once it was like separated, I was like, all right, let me do. And I wasn't so. When I last time I dated was before the apps, so I didn't know this whole apps thing. And people at work are like, no, you got to do the apps. I'm like, what about going to a bar? It's like, oh no, 20-year-olds go to a bar. You got to go on these apps and stuff. And I was just like, what is this? What is this world? So
Mm-hmm.
What is this world? The apps are wild, man. I always like when I was still married, I'd see friends doing it or like, younger clients or something. I'd be like, oh, tell me about it. Let me see your profile. Like, this is crazy. What is
Mm-hmm.
this swiping thing? And then when I
Oh
got
my
to
God,
do it, I
it's
was like,
wild.
this is the worst. This is the
Yeah.
worst thing I've ever experienced. This is awful.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's what I
waited,
got out of it.
after I
As long as
asked
I
for the
could.
divorce, I waited a year and a half before I even attempted to date. I mean, I waited months after the divorce was finalized. I was like, I'm
That's so
not
healthy.
ready. I said, I was like, it is important to me to not try to date until this chapter is closed and legally
Mhm.
this divorce is over. And like, now we can both move on. And my ex-husband and I, we are good friends now. We are awesome co-parents. We communicate really
Mhm.
well. Like, I have such an appreciation for the relationship we have now. Things were rough
Honestly,
for a while.
that probably played a role in it because part of I don't like to talk about him, but part of the conflict I have with my ex is because I started dating
Mm.
so quickly. And so and my attorney said the same thing. She was like, hey, the number one cause of like issues in divorce is dating other people. That's where most of your conflict is going to come from.
Wow, really? I did
Because
not know
people's
that.
feelings get hurt,
Oh,
people
yeah.
get angry, they get more vengeful. It starts off as a mutual thing, and then people's feelings get hurt.
Mhm.
And that's the quickest way to hurt someone's feelings is to start
Yeah.
dating. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can see
So,
that. It's tough. And you hear horror stories of people's divorces and all that stuff. And I am very grateful that while mine was rough, things were not great for a while. It's over. And
yeah.
he and I
And you
can
guys
be friends now.
are good
And,
now.
and we do whole family stuff all the time. And his fiance is lovely. And like, it's great.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
It's so
love
much
that.
healthier now.
That's why, same with Max. I love his relationship with his ex-wife because they put their kids first.
Right.
They put their kids before any issues they might have with each other, which you really don't have any with each other, which is weird. But they're just good and they're focused on being good parents, and that's what they focus on, and it's great for their kids. It's so good for them. So to change subjects completely,
Yeah,
because this is the sex episode.
sorry. It's all intertwined. It is so easy to we can divert into a million different things.
I mean, we go off on, this is a thing we do on every episode, is tangents, and it's usually him.
So we need a producer.
I am the producer. All right. Do you have any tips on keeping the spark alive or keeping things spicy in a long-term relationship?
Yes. This goes back to what I said earlier. Have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
You should be trying new things in and outside the bedroom. But when we're talking specifically about physical intimacy, I think what do they say? It is this is per year. It's like 12 new things per year that you should try within your physical relationship with your partner. Before then, it's sort of like the value levels out after that. So it's like trying one new thing a month. That doesn't mean you let's think of the grandest thing we can try this month. We're talking you try anything, little thing.
Bring back Sybaris, right?
Oh God.
I'm going to tell you something. Sybaris still exists, right?
Does it?
Yes. And if any of my friends listen to this and they hear Sybaris, they will all bust out laughing because they know that I have been there twice.
I've been there, yeah.
Sybaris is sexy as hell. Take your partner to Sybaris.
Giant pool? I know. Yeah, we had.
There's mirrors on the ceiling? Come on now.
This will probably be like, this is kind of maybe it was a foreshadowing of my marriage, but I think, I don't know if we were married yet, but like her family was very like, they didn't talk about anything, so we had to actually lie and say like, oh no, we're just gonna go see friends. We went to the one on, I think it was Milwaukee Avenue or Northbrook or whatever. Yeah.
Bridget was there too.
We go and it's like, it's a pool and stuff. I'm like, I'm so excited, and she's sick. And so it's like, it really wasn't that intimate, but I was having fun. So I was drinking, jumping in the pool, and doing whatever. And it's like, that's my Sybaris moment. It's like nothing really exciting, but it was still fun. Yeah. And I know people say that's, but it's cool because it's kind of like off to the side, so you don't have to worry about like being quiet. And it was fun.
You're in your own little like pod, like the little. They're not. I wouldn't call them cabins, but like you're in your own. They're not. People. If you've never been there, they're each their own little residence, kind of, that you get into. You're not.
And you can get this was old, but you could get like videos or DVDs at the front counter if you want even more.
You meant, like, of yourself. I'm like, what?
No, and I've had my friends say like, "Isn't it so disgusting there?" Like people go there for one reason. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Have you stayed in a hotel?"
Yeah.
You think people?
That was my first experience. I opened a door and I was like, "What is this?" It's some sort of swing, and then later I'm like, I know what kind of swing that was.
You didn't know right away?
No, I was.
There is something, I guess not for everybody, but like for a lot of people, something like about a Sybaris or even just going to a hotel locally. I like to call it like, people, staycation, it's a mini vacay. I loved when I used to work for companies. I loved getting sent downstate or wherever for like a conference because I got to stay in a hotel and I could pretend like I'm on vacation. Like there's something like fun about a hotel to me. And so doing that with my partner, even if it's like you're going to the Holiday Inn 20 minutes away from your house, it's a diversion from your normal routine and from like your home base. And it's something new and different that you get to experience together. Mm-hmm. So like when we're talking about, how do you keep it spicy? So like
hotel sex.
We'll go to the Sybaris and do it in a pool or a hot tub, or like try a new position that you've never tried before, or try watching a sexy movie together if that's something you want to try. Any of these things, and that doesn't mean like, we're keeping it spicy and every time we try something new, it's a hit. Some of these things fall flat, and that's part of the experience. And this is like, just getting back into what we talked about before, those like realistic expectations, like in terms of like porn and Instagram and all these things we see out there and like OnlyFans and all of that. Having realistic expectations of how things are going to go is super important. So sometimes if you're well connected to your partner and you have good sex, that's amazing. Like not every single time is going to be earth shattering. Some of them for sure will, if you're really connected and you're communicating and you're trying things and you're like making sure that each of you is satisfied and making that a priority. Some of it's going to be earth shattering. That cannot be the expectation every time. You will be so disappointed. Yeah. Sometimes it's just going to be good enough. And that's okay. That's okay. You need like the good enough so that the earth shattering is actually earth shattering.
Right.
Like, holy shit, that was good. Time, last week was like, that was fine. I'm glad we did it. You're not going to be like, well, I guess sometimes you're like, I could have just gone and had lunch at Panera and that might have been better. But like ice cream would have been better. But that's okay. Like sometimes being disappointed with that is fine because then it makes the times that it's awesome even that much more awesome. Like, oh my God, look at us. We redeemed ourselves this time and we really like rose to the occasion. That was, high five.
We high five.
The high five in the bedroom is the best thing.
I love it so much. Yeah. But that's how you keep it spicy by try something new every month. I mean, that's
That's
what
a
the stats say.
great
One
idea.
new thing a month. After that, after 12 things in the year, it levels out. So you can keep trying stuff, but you're not going to get like any more benefit from it really. But and a lot of people will say, how can I even think of 12 things to try? Again, it does not have to be crazy stuff.
Right.
You don't
Make it
have to
something
try a
small.
sex swing. Like you just
Just go to the
Know what it was.
Sybaris. Yeah.
right, go to the
What is
Sybaris,
this?
and like maybe next month you just try a different colored bra. Like
Yeah.
or a totally different style of even just like cozy pajama. Sometimes haven't you ever, I'm sure you guys have looked at each other like, whoa, those are just athletic shorts, but damn.
Yes.
Right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. That's trying something
Don't
new.
laugh. Where are the gray shorts?
Yeah, like get yourself a new pair of gray sweatpants. There you go. She'll love it.
She
They're
goes crazy
great.
for the sweatpants. Yeah.
They're
We
so
all
good.
do.
They're so good. This is a thing.
As long as they're the right
also,
kind.
Yeah. They gotta they gotta cling in a certain way, and
Yeah.
they're great. They're wonderful. It's funny that you say that, though, 'cause I'm like, hey. So a question that a lot of people ask, and I know it's so different for everyone, especially based on relationship or schedules or kids or whatever, but what would you say is a healthy amount of sex to have? Because I know people are like, oh, I do it 3 times a day. Bullshit. Do you have kids? No, you don't.
Some people do. Some
Yeah,
people,
kids or dogs. Yeah.
some people do, but I would say that is not average. So if that's healthy for them, that's healthy for them, and that's fine. And if they can both keep up, great.
Mhm.
That is not the case for your average adult who has
Or
an
the job,
average
like-
libido. But it really is different for each couple, and so I'm sure there's some. I won't even pretend to know what the statistics on that are. I'm sure they're readily accessible through Google. But I would say for any couple who's wondering, like, should we be doing it more or less? How does it feel for you? Do you want to be doing it more? Do you want to be doing it less? And it can change week to week. I think the key component here is communicating with your partner. Hey, I know it's been a few days. I really want that for us. I am exhausted though. Like I'm not telling you that I don't want you. I am telling you though that within my own body, like I just can't do that right now. And that's okay. As long as we're like being
relating hard to this right now.
What'd you say?
We're relating very, very much to this right now.
If you're communicating about it, it becomes, and then it's not personal anymore. Like, oh, she or he doesn't want it right now. It's not about me because my partner isn't into it right now. It's not that they're not into me. It's that there is something else going on right now. Now, if this is a consistent thing and it becomes a problem in the relationship, like that's different. But yeah, we're going to have days or weeks or months where things are either more stressful or just more physically taxing because of maybe the job or somebody got sick, and they're having a tough time bouncing back. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be right there back at your norm with your partner again in a couple weeks. But having that like understanding and care for each other that like, yeah, of course we would like it to be like this every day or every week or every month. And also, it can't always be that way. And that's okay.
Exactly. I think being able to not take offense to it or have your feelings hurt is something that like I really have had to work through because I am 42, well, almost 43 in a couple of days. But like I'm at like height, like 18-year-old boy, like sex drive. So it's like 24/7. I'm like, let's go. He's like, I have to work. I'm tired.
You're sick. It doesn't matter.
Just lay there.
I have done that. But
I was thinking of the Friends one when Monica had the vapor rub all over her.
Sexy phlegm. I bought.
Yeah.
I remember I bought vapor rub. So, his life and his everything in your life right now is a lot more than what's going on in mine. My kids are grown up. My job, the only thing that sucks about my job is my commute. But my job is very like not stressful. I love it. I'm happy every day. He asks me every day, how's your day? I'm like, same. So it's good every day. But like the only source of stress I really have in my life is my commute. And that's it. And he has a more stressful job, younger kids, all kinds of stuff
Mhm.
going on. So like and his job is a lot more physically taxing than mine. So he does get tired more. And so in the beginning, I'd be like, oh, well, he just isn't attracted to me then. And I've obviously, thanks to therapy, learned to to
Let's
realize like
reframe that experience.
right, to be like, okay, it's not that he's not attracted to me. He was very honest in that I'm exhausted. I can barely keep my eyes open right now.
Mhm.
And I have to like talk myself through it sometimes, but then I'm like, okay, I understand. It's not about me. It's about the fact that he's about to
That's
pass out on the couch
yeah, that's the key there.
After wrestling, come on, after wrestling.
after wrestling.
It's not about you. I mean, we miss that
Not
so
wrestling
much.
me, wrestling on TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get really caught up in our own living in our own bubble sometimes, or like in our own heads. And the
Mhm.
assumption is frequently like, oh, they must have said that way or done it that way. And this is for anybody in the world. This could be a friend thing. I mean, I'm guilty of this myself. Sometimes somebody will
Mhm.
say something or do something. I'm like, are we not? Oh, I thought we were like vibing as new besties,
Right?
you know, like, I guess not. And then it turns out like, hello, nothing to do with you, Bridget. This has everything to do with what they were going through that day. And
Yeah.
they were exhausted and they had some stuff on their minds that we were like out to lunch. They didn't feel comfortable sharing it with the group, you know.
Mhm.
And that's why they responded in that way. It had nothing to do with anybody else sitting at that table. And I think if we are able to mostly err on the side of like, unless you are telling me that this has to do with me and this is my problem or there's something I'm doing, it is unlikely that it does. If you are healthy communicators, if they are
Mhm.
not communicating that it is you or something to do with you, it is unlikely that it has anything to do with you. And in a
Right.
perfect world, they'd be hitting it right now. But they're tired or exhausted
Yeah.
or sick or their back hurts, you
Exactly.
know. And you're absolutely right. Like you're at the age now where you're like at the peak. I mean,
Mhm.
there's plenty of peak left, but you know, especially with older kids, it's so much less taxing on you emotionally and physically. You
Yeah.
saying you have a job that you really like, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's nothing then that's really affecting your libido day to day.
Right. I don't have the stressors
Mhm.
and anything. I'm just like, let's go.
Right. Not
We're
to
going.
mention,
Come
it's
on.
like, I mean, they say on average, like a healthy man, healthy woman, like for men, morning is the best time, and for women,
Mhm.
evening is the best time. And so,
Mhm.
like, for a lot of people, it's like, let's compromise and meet in the middle. So we're getting a little bit of both of the best.
A
But like,
nooner?
when people are at work, you can't do that.
No.
And so it's like in the morning, women are frequently wake up with their to do list, go, go, go. I got all these
Oh
things I
yeah.
gotta go, I gotta get ready, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And men are like, oh, like, look at what I've got here when I wake up. Like, come on. And then at the end of the day, women now have like had a moment to decompress. If you are a wine drinker, you have probably had a glass or two of wine, or you've actually finally eaten and peed for the day. You know, like if the day
Mhm.
was so busy and you didn't have time to do anything, now you can actually now you're looking at your partner saying like, you know, it'd be nice now that I'm not feeling less stressed. And they're like, I'm freaking exhausted. Like, where were you this morning? So, you know, biologically, there is like your average biology of men and women is slightly different in that way.
Mhm.
But as long as you're, you know, mostly like physically and emotionally healthy and communicating, that isn't really like a huge
That's
like
really
problem for
inconvenient.
most couples
That's
once
a
you
thing.
let it be. Say that again?
That's inconvenient.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I say this all the time. Like, okay, if this is the worst thing that happened to me this week, I mean, not about like that, but like about anything, is
Right.
this really a terrible thing, or is this sort of just like an annoying inconvenience? And so,
Right.
like time of day and meeting our partner where they're at, or like trying to figure that out, isn't it great that we both want this and want to figure this out with each other?
Mhm.
Isn't the timing just more of a mild inconvenience? And let's figure out what's going to work for us moving forward.
Exactly. And being able to talk about it, which
Yeah,
is the whole point of this episode
the
was
whole
to
point of
try to
sensitive.
normalize talking about sex, especially with your partner, because it's so important. It's such an important part of a healthy relationship.
If you can't talk
So,
about it, this is what I used to tell the teenagers when I did my comprehensive sex ed. If you cannot talk to your partner about sex, You should not be having sex.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now,
That's
no
great.
adult is going to
Great
follow that
advice.
guideline, but
Oh, no, of course not. So, I don't want to take up your whole night. I know you've got kids to get back to, but we do this with all of our guests. You don't have to share a story, but if you have a funny dating story, we'd love to hear it.
I don't know if it's funny. The one that came to mind, I
crazy.
actually, I have like fairly minimal adult, I feel like post marriage dating. Most of those dates that I like went on off apps or like maybe somebody that I met organically were like pretty just average.
You met people organically?
Well, I'm like through the single parent group or something.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
But when I was in my 20s and I was doing I think I was doing eHarmony or Match.com. I think I started with eHarmony and then switched to Match.com. This is when it was a website.
We met on Match.
You did?
Yeah, we did.
But it was an app now, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing it, you had to log in on your desktop. And I went out with this guy and we met at at Old Orchard, actually, at like a sports bar there. The name escapes me right now. And he was like, his pictures were clearly like 10 years old, which like, tale as old as time. What else is new?
Right.
And I was sort of uncomfortable once I saw that and was like, but I was like 26, 27. So I didn't want to be rude and I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And so I stayed and we had shared an appetizer and had a drink. And this man, we're sitting at the bar. He would not stop rubbing my back. And I kept being like, okay, can you not? And so finally, after a while, I jumped up off my stool and I said, can you not do that? I feel like I keep saying, that's okay. No, don't. I'm trying to be polite here. And he's like, oh, see, now I thought maybe you didn't want me to do that, but I wasn't sure. That's
Let's run away.
And I was like, okay. And so I sat back down, and within 30 seconds, this man had his hand on my butt. And I said, okay, I think it's time to go.
Wow.
And he walked me to my car, which I shouldn't have even let him. And he said, listen, I had a great time. And I was like, uh-huh. Yeah, okay. And he said, I'm going to put the balls in your court. I'm not going to reach out. You reach out if you'd like to see me again. But I'd love to see you again, and I'll wait to hear from you. And I said, okay, I appreciate that. And I think I shook his hand and got in my car, and I called my best friend, Katie, who lives up in Milwaukee. And I was like, you will never believe this. And she was like, why didn't you just leave? I was like, because I'm too nice. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Within 2 minutes of me being on the phone with her, I wasn't even to the expressway. This man is calling me. He called me my entire, I think I only had a 20-minute ride home because I was still living with my parents. So I must have been 25. And I hadn't moved back to the city yet after college. And so I'm driving back up to my parents' house and talking to my friend. I said, he's calling. And she's like, do not answer that. I was like, I'm not going to. He called probably 12 times on the drive home.
Oh my God.
He never reached out again, thankfully. But I was like, what is this?
Take a hint. Well, obviously he doesn't take a hint because you were dropping them left and right.
A directive. Please don't touch me.
Yeah. Wow. Ooh, thunder.
Yeah. Oh, wait. We live 10 minutes from each other.
I was going to say, we're so close. Did you hear the thunder too? Yeah. Well, I'm
not
glad you
super
didn't
funny, but in hindsight, everything was fine. And that was just, again, a mild inconvenience, I suppose.
Well, and the thing is, you recognized the red flag.
Oh.
Wow. Did your house just shake too?
No, that one wasn't. Must have been right over you.
I'm right by.
There's lots of lightning out this window, though.
Mm-hmm. So, you were able to recognize those red flags in your 20s, which is kind of impressive.
Well, it was. I don't know. I think it was less about recognizing red flags and just feeling icky, and being
and listening to that though.
You're a sleaze, yeah.
Right. Being like, I'm not okay with this, and putting your foot down about it is not a skill that everyone has. So
You know what? It's not a skill that everyone has, and in hindsight, I do wish that I had said like, "Ooh, actually, you're making me uncomfortable. I'm gonna go," and left.
I
When
think that's a
I
maturity
actually
thing
started to
too.
feel
Like as you get older, you
Yes.
recognize things like that more.
Yes. It gets easier, I think, and more difficult in certain contexts because I think now there is a worry for a lot of women, especially, that if I say, I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to go, is this man a psycho and is he going to hurt me?
Right.
Which is a whole other topic for maybe another time.
Yeah. So the lesson to take away from that is when a woman says, "Don't touch me,"
Yeah, don't touch her.
stop touching her. That's a great advice.
Maybe invest in pepper spray.
Right. Well, I don't want to take up your whole night, and it's getting stormy out there. So, thank you so much for joining us. This was so much
thanks
fun.
for coming by.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Yeah. You gave us some great advice, some great tips.
Good.
I think people are going to be able to take a lot from this.
I hope, I always say, like, I always love doing, well, I've never done a podcast, but like when I do my professional, like Instagram and TikToks, I always tell people, like, I know some of them are silly and they like, whatever, but it's not like I've got a million followers, but if I just one person feels better after hearing what I had to say, that's all the reason to keep doing it.
Do you want to share where people can find you? I don't know if it's public or not, like your Instagram.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and on Instagram, I think I'm at Thera, THERA.Bish, Therabish, but the full thing was taken. So on TikTok, it's just Therabish, and then on Instagram, it's Thera.Bish.
I love it. Love it. It's great content too. So it's really like inspiring and hopeful, and it's so nice. And anytime I see your story, I'm like, I gotta watch this because it's gonna inspire me for the day.
Sometimes I make
it inspire you for your hour 15-minute commute.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Sometimes I make those videos and I'm like, isn't this stuff people know already? But there's always a couple messages that were like, thank you so much for that. I really needed to hear that. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm sort of surprised. I'm like,
I think there are times when it's just like you just need the reminder. It might be common sense stuff, but it's stuff like, I needed to hear that. I needed someone to say that message to me today to help me have a better day. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. This was so fun.
Yeah. And then we'll have to, I'll message you after this. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, Bridget was great. She is.
Yeah, that was awesome.
A great guest. She has a great voice for podcasting too. So, I already told her before this, I'm like, this is probably going to become a regular thing where we have her on more than once. I knew it was going to be good. So we will probably have her on for other topics, but we now have 2 therapists, which is great.
Remember what she said. When someone says no, that means no.
Not for me. She wasn't talking to me. She's talking about people in general, but not me.
Talking about predators.
Stop. Yes, real predators, but I'm just flirting with my boyfriend. That's it. Anyway, what is something that you learned from this episode?
I mean, it's something I knew, but that the love language stuff was kind of bullshit, which I kind of knew.
Did you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like everyone is physical touch. Like, it might be like
that's
one or
not
two
true,
people.
Because I wasn't at all.
Well, that's because, yeah.
No, don't. Yeah.
No. You just come from different places in your life, and sometimes it's not. But yeah,
it changes based on your relationship too.
Right.
So, because like,
I don't know. I think I learned a lot just about. I mean, we've always known about like the communication and stuff, but you know, and it reaffirmed me that the Cerberus is okay. There's a new one now, so like the Cerberus has gone down, bye, but there's new ones that always pop up.
There's some.
I mean, they're around, but like there's newer hotel, like I think they call them like hot tub hotels or jacuzzi hotels where it's
take your girlfriend. It could be something new. Are you down for that? Are you down for trying something new?
Yeah, but it's like, well, here's the tough part. It's like, okay, who's gonna watch the dogs? No. Just sometimes it's inconvenient during the, you know, like a last minute.
Yeah, that's trickier. But if we plan stuff, like what are your thoughts on trying something new once a month?
That's fun.
I think it sounds fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't asking for us. I was just asking in general, but I want to try it.
I want to watch wrestling naked.
I don't think that.
Oh,
you done
okay. And
That's not what she meant. But okay. Yeah, I think I learned about the love languages. I feel like I kind of knew, because it is kind of like the zodiac thing where it's very generalized, and I did
yeah,
not realize it wasn't done by someone in the psychology world. I thought it was, but knowing that it was done by a pastor kind of changes my view on it. Not that it's bad.
I wonder if it was Eric. What was his name from Seventh Heaven?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't him.
What was it? It wasn't Carmen.
No,
What was it?
Eric from
No, not from South Park. What was his name?
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
Eric something. I don't
The
forget the
dad
last
from
name.
Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's in jail for.
Yeah. I think I learned. I don't know. She gave a lot of really good advice on how to talk about certain things. I don't know that we've ever really had a problem with it, but just how to like introduce things, because I think a lot of times when you're talking about sex in a relationship, you're worried that the other person's going to take offense to it. And it's not always about what you don't like and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just like, let's try this or let's do that. And it's not always like because I'm missing out on something. Sometimes it's just because you want to talk about something. And we talk a lot, obviously. So I don't think that's an issue that we've had, but just having her tips on how to bring it up. Or even if it's a tough conversation to have, to write a text or an email. I think that's a great idea. I do that all the time because like sometimes it's easier to get your thoughts out to make sure you cover everything you wanted to cover. So I think those are all great ideas and great tips. And thunder. It's a little stormy here, so that was a fun episode. I'm glad we did it.
Daniels, what?
Yes, Stormy Daniels.
Yes.
It's Stormy Daniels outside. We have lots of fun things coming up. We promise we're going to be more consistent, right, Max? Are you playing with something on your mic?
Oh, there's a metal clip down there, and I'm just.
Stop it.
playing
That's
with
all I
it.
can hear.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
But yeah, so we have some exciting guests coming up. We're going to be more consistent with episodes. And if you have any questions, if you want to ask Bridget any questions, if you want to ask Biana any questions, because Biana is coming back soon as well, send us some questions at nodickpicspod@gmail.com or DM us on any of our social media sites. Make sure you follow us on social media. We are NoDPicsPod on Instagram and NoDickPicsPod everywhere else. You can watch us on YouTube if you're listening to this and you're like, I want to watch them. Watch us on YouTube.
I want to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see a flower blossom behind Max.
It's growing out of you. You're blooming. It's perfect. Oh, you're so cute, though. So cute.
I said I gained water weight my first few weeks doing creatine, so.
Well.
I feel bloated.
You have some serious body dysmorphia. We're going to wrap it up because I'm hungry. But, yeah, do you have anything to add?
Hungry for what?
Do you want me to answer that?
I don't think I need to. We all know the answer.
I'm actually hungry for food, too. But, hey, happy early birthday, babe.
Happy early birthday, babe. Hey, you're Sunday and I'm Tuesday.
Yeah. So when we come back, the next episode, we're going to be a year older.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, I'm still nice and young, so I'm fine.
I'm 1 year away from you.
No, you're not. I'm younger than you. This is never going to die. What happens when I hit 50 and I pass it? Are you still going to... You can call me 50 then. When I'm like 55, you can be like, oh, you're 50.
You have to wheel me around my wheelchair.
I would.
Did you take my bedpan?
Okay, that's all we got for this week. So we will be back next week. Bye. You have to say words, honey.
Words.
This is a podcast. Let's try this again.
All right.
Say we will be back next week.
We will be back next week with another exciting episode of No Dick Pics Podcast with Christina and yours truly, Max.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Is that good enough?
That was great, honey. I love you.
Yeah. I'm going to go take a shower.